Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. It's still Tuesday and I'm going to take you guys in for a carb rebuild. Notice the Lakota isn't here. That's because it's on the side of the house where it decided to die and not restart. I managed to pull the carburetor off without tearing off all the plastic, which is a real joy, you know, kneeling on the dirt. So I tore the carburetor apart, and you guys mostly know how to get into there. And this is the main jet, and there was a bunch of dirt here on the main jet that I think I already knocked off. If you look down the hole of the main jet, you could see wonderful things. But if you look through these holes, right, some of them are plugged up. So I don't know if you can just see a flash of light. So anyway, the main jet, just considering it was rebuilt, it really didn't look great. This is, I think this is the idle jet, which is actually, right, you guys could see through those holes there, which is what you want to do. Trying to not drop it on the ground, right, and even through that hole, right. So that's kind of nice. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the whole thing again and blow it all out. See that needle valve there? Right, you could kind of see the bottom of that needle valve. That's not good. That's not good at all. That doesn't belong like that. That belongs permanently down. So for some reason, that needle valve is also floating. So I'm going to tear it apart and get into that and try to figure out what her problem is. According to my buddy, he says nobody's ever been in this carburetor, but I'm seeing evidence of the contrary. These bikes are always a little bit tough if somebody's already messed with them, right? If somebody's already fooled around with them. Like, once again, that needle, right? I just want to make sure you guys could see it. See the way it's like cockeyed there? Right? That needle's supposed to be all the way down and in that hole. So there's something very wrong with that. And we're going to have to, one takes this piece out. There's kind of a diaphragm in there, right? If not, you'd have a gigantic vacuum leak. So I'm going to tear that out, and we'll see why that needle isn't where it's supposed to be. If you break into one of these carbs, I'm just trying to kind of give you the spots to look, right? You guys know how to take the 4 bolts off to get the bowl out. You know, before you take this tuning jet, it's actually the idle mixture needle valve. Before you take that out, you should, tighten it in, counting how many turns it takes to tighten it in, and then you take it out. By the way, it was 5 half turns, which is pretty typical. They typically opened between 1.5 and 2.5, right? So 5 half turns are 2.5 full turns. So you guys know to count that. Once again, you know how to get the 4 bolts off. You know how to slide the little pin out of here to take the float assembly loose. You know not to drop that needle valve, the valve that turns the float on and off. It's actually a kind of a needle valve. You guys know that. You take the pieces out. You know not to lose any of the springs that are on anything, right? So watch out, look out. You guys know all that. So let me get in there and figure out why. I mean, that's completely, that that needle is completely out to lunch. So let's figure out why that is. I'm actually glad to find something once I got into the carburetor, because it would really stink to kind of get in there, find nothing, completely go through it and try to let it loose. And once again, if you find nothing, what did you fix? You fixed nothing, and why should you expect it to improve? Anyway, folks, I want to thank you all for watching and commenting and subscribing. Remember to keep your feet down, keep your head up, and get out there and enjoy all your days. Bye now.